It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2022 Just Before Christmas edition of The Local Show. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. On The Local Show, we have conversations about local business with business owners, CEOs, CFOs, entrepreneurs, civic organizations, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We talk about how they got into business and why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You will hear all about their successes, their challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoe Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Happy weekend to Steve. How are you, Steve?
I'm all right for being me. You know when somebody asks that and I answer that way, they always look at me like, oh, okay. I get it. It's one of those things.
People always cock their head to the side and wonder what you said.
Yeah,
so
that's what does that mean?
Nothing new. You're like either people view you as very, very smart or my gosh, where did he come from?
What did that? Yes, it's the same way when I meet somebody who's like, this is my first wife, Judy, and they go, huh? What and they go, oh, it was a joke. Yeah, 35 years. This is it. We're gonna make it one. So
you like to throw them off a little bit.
It does. They're like, oh, I get it. That was a joke.
Yeah, fun stuff. Well, we got a great show for you, folks. Stick around. We're just, is it only a week away from the holiday?
I know. I got to start thinking about Christmas shopping for my wife, the only person I buy for. So.
You might want to do that. Hey, Dr. Nicole Anzalone is coming up first, owner of Syracuse Hearing Solutions. We'll talk with Dan Hartnett. He's the owner of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Rob O'Connor stops by with a buddy. Rob is the president of Right Coast Incorporated. He's going to talk with us about his esports stuff that's happening, and that's with his friend Matt Guernsey, who's the co-founder of Elite Esports Organization. And then we got Greg Lancette. He's the president of New York Pipe Trades Association. Charlie Van Patten stops by, owner of Mattress Makers. Natasha Schmidt is the co-owner of Rubberstone, New York. And then Dr. Tina Chi, the owner of Up Design Primary Care. All on the Local Show today. We do encourage you to stick around. Why don't you bake a pie or bake a cake or something?
Drop it off, too.
While you're listening. I've been asking my wife about yellow cake with a chocolate frosting. I've had a hankering for that.
That sounds good. Do you like German chocolate frosting?
Oh, I don't care. Yeah, as long as it's chocolate.
The coconut in it? Oh, that's the best.
Yeah. All good stuff. Dr. Nicole Anzalone, how are you this morning?
I'm doing very well. Thank you, Tom.
Excellent. Well, it's great to see you and, of course, hear you. We always say that. Nicole, give people a little background of yourself, how you got to be an audiologist.
Sure. So I started out actually studying neuroscience. And I worked at the Institute for Sensory Research. I went to Syracuse University for my master's in neuroscience. Then my doctorate in audiology because we studied ears, mostly eyes and all different other senses too. But I was mostly interested
settled on
in
the ears. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. They're so interesting. So then I opened up a practice and, to help patients and help them hear, help them communicate, hearing, balance, ear to brain. We do it all.
All that. That's great. Now, you're not originally from Syracuse. You're from downstate.
Yes, I'm from the Bronx.
You don't sound like that. I'm from the Bronx, downstate. You don't
She's
sound
educated.
Like it.
She's an educated
There's
woman.
educated people that sound like that. So how did you get that out of you?
Oh, no, I've probably been up here too long.
Right. There you go. So one of the things that you do at your practice is, being a doctor, of course, you are able to look at things medically as it relates to the ear, not just prescribe a hearing aid or a hearing amplifier or something like that. How does your practice deal with balance in the ear? You mentioned that really quickly there.
Yeah, so, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a doctor of audiology, so
Gotcha.
It's not an MD, but we look at hearing loss and balance your ear actually is, it controls your balance. So we look at, again, ear to brain. Basically, if someone's dizzy, it could be ear related. Your ears act as a little gyroscope, and if there's a problem with your ear, it could cause severe vertigo. And that's detrimental to especially the elderly, because as we age, our ears change, our balance system changes, our reflexes aren't as fast, so that could lead to increased risk of falling and loss of independence and sometimes mortality. So it's very important to look at the ear. We diagnose ear-related balance problems now.
No, you're getting some big shot certification for the Balance Club or something. Tell us about that. We were talking about it earlier this week. Explain that to me.
So we are undergoing special training by the American Institute of Balance. And we're going to be certified as a Center for Specialty Care. So we look at what I call the ABCs. We look at the auditory system, we look at the balance system, and cognition, all related to ear and hearing as well. So it's all related, and this certification is great because we're being trained by the best of the best. This is a world-class center. And one of the founders, he actually rehabilitates pilots and astronauts when they come back from their missions.
Wow.
As you can imagine, their whole sense of gravity changes.
Sure.
So they need rehabilitation.
Tom goes over a bridge and the same thing happens.
Yes, it's the same thing happens to me. My whole sense of reality goes away. Wow.
Yeah, well, motion sickness. A lot of people get motion sickness from sometimes even walking down an aisle, and that is ear related.
You ever get car sick, Tom?
No, I never had that problem. No.
Like if I sit in the back of of in a van or something.
Yeah.
It gets. If I'm in front, and it must have to do with the whole. You know more about this than I do. I'm usually okay, but if I'm like in the back,
yeah, get you, huh?
Yeah, and it's all ear related. Is what you're saying?
Yeah. So there's whenever there's a latency difference between your visual system and your balance system as part of your ear, that could cause this discrepancy in your system.
Yeah.
Is there a pill for that? Because Tom wants to know.
I mean, sometimes you might be prescribed meclizine or Dramamine or something like that, but that's just. It's kind of like a Band-Aid,
Right.
but you can actually undergo this whole rehabilitation process to help your brain compensate for that imbalance.
Mm-hmm. If people go shopping for hearing aids and they don't come to you, which I don't advise, but if they do, how can they tell the difference between just a standard amplifier and a real hearing aid that's prescribed?
Great question.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So when I would say in simple terms, if you see an audiologist and get your hearing aids prescribed to your hearing loss, so basically you undergo a hearing test, the audiologist has an audiogram, and your hearing aids are prescribed to that audiogram. That makes it a prescription hearing aid. So it's more fine-tuned for you and your hearing loss specifically and your needs. If it's over the counter, you're not getting tested, you don't know what your hearing's like, and you just buy this amplifier, it's an amplifier.
So, Tom, it'd be like going to the pharmacy and going, take one of these versus going to the doctor and getting the right thing.
Yeah, sure. Makes sense. So I encourage everyone to get out there and talk with Dr. Nicole Anzalone and her team. You got a wonderful team over there, too. She's the owner of Syracuse Hearing Solutions. You always do a great job, and thank you so much for stopping by again.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right. Have a great rest of the day. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Dan Hartnett. He's the owner of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.